there is some big connection with some ET animal gods. I mean, there are. I mean, was the lion. Am I saying it right?
Yes.
The lioness,
Larens. Yeah, the
the
Larens.
Larens. Yeah,
Yeah, I think cats have more reptilian eyes if you really
yeah,
kind of think about it.
exactly. That's like a snake.
Yeah, and I can communicate with cats. I have a good, strong relationship with cats. And so I think if anyone has a connection with cats, they're on that realm
Well, look
of
at Linda Moulton Howe, for God's sakes.
there are protectors. They really are. They protect us at night when we're sleeping or sleeping and astral traveling
Sure.
into other realms. I have cats that, well, one specifically that protects and guards me at night.
Well, it's your boy Dustin from the Flying Chairs, The Rise, and I got a special guest today back with us for the third time. We got Melanie, and it's been a while since we chit chatted, right? Like, I don't know. I think last time we did chatted, it was plugging in your new book, your newest book. I think maybe it's what's written behind you, right? Or is,
No, this image here is actually a different image. The
oh,
last
okay.
book though that I released when we spoke was Revelations 2.
Yes. Okay.
Yep, Evolutions. So that was my book that covered our evolutions through hypnosis regressions and
That's
research.
awesome. That's awesome. So, hey, what's new since I seen you last?
Oh man, so I guess, well, I did release a third book, which I haven't promoted too much, but it is out there, and we can kind of peek into that if you want to.
Sure. Yeah, totally
Just
up to
just
you.
for educational purposes, it actually is not in the realm of extraterrestrials or phenomenon, but it really does touch a topic on on human trafficking. And the reason for that is, well, there's many reasons for that. There's the collective reason because trafficking is such a sensitive topic that we know to be true. It also needs disclosure. And so I've dropped it underneath the Quantum Disclosure Project title, just to educate everyone about what's been going on for generations and what's going on still on the underneath our nose every single day. We don't even realize it. So it's an educated guide on wisdom, sights, sounds, even signs, different things that we can just prepare and alert and educate ourselves on how we can learn about the topic, how we can notice it or to identify it, where to get the resources, who's a victim, who's at fault, who are the ones that are controlling these programs and what do they get out of it and how do they benefit. And so there's also information on survivors. And so if anyone is a survivor, then they know how to get resources or how to consult a loved one who may have gone through this situation. So
Hmm.
it is very important. I should promote it more, but that's the third book I released.
Wow.
And it's called Behind the Mask, and it's just revealing the truths about human
Sure.
trafficking.
Sure. And that's kind of it's a very terrifying topic in
It
general.
really is. It really is. And it was triggered, when I was a child because I was also trafficked. And
Oh
that's
my
something
God.
that I don't share very often, but it's a healing process that I've had to go through, I think my entire life. It's a process of, it's almost like grief, all of these stages. You've got your acceptance, you've got your anger, you've got your uh all of the in-betweens, let's say, and it's almost a never-ending process. So it's kind of why I also worked on the book. And the cover, if you see the cover, it's a picture of me when I was 2 years old, and I was in a little bunny Halloween costume outfit. So that's why it's called Behind the Mask, because we are hidden in plain sight every single day. So
Sure.
That's why he
And
released it.
I even like the rabbit. Uh, I think even down the rabbit hole of like going down the sick, twisted world of human trafficking, and the fact
Yeah.
that, yeah, you're right, this shit has been happening since the dawn of time. Just slave labor, and then of course enslaving women for sex and whatever sick putrid shit, and even children too
Children.
are
Yeah.
victims of this,
Yeah.
like yourself. And that's horrible. Oh my God. I'm just flabbergasted because I've never met anybody who has admitted that they've been trafficked and in some scary ass situations and never knowing if they're going to survive or not, make it the next day, uh, planning to survive. I don't know, like how crazy shit. Here, check this out. Like there's here in Wisconsin, it's probably like 5, 6 years ago. This guy, he's probably in his like, I don't know, mid 20s or some shit. He he like fascinated he like was obsessed with this girl who got off the school bus one day, and she's just, this like girl from like elementary school, maybe middle school. But anyways, she he just like picked her out and like stalked her, and then went to her house with a shotgun and killed her dad through the door, and then went to her mother and killed her in front of her daughter, like blew her head off, and took her daughter into this little sex dungeon that he made beforehand, and threw her in there. And yeah, she was disappeared for a week. Everybody was looking for her for weeks on end and shit. And she saved herself. This girl like broke out, and like she had like bruises and like busted up ankles, and some woman found her half naked down the street and shit. But again, like
Yeah.
it does. You might have to be the one that to save yourself. You have to like again fight to survive.
You do.
Uh,
You learn how to
like
survive. Yeah.
what
Yep.
PTSD shit that girl must have had to go through after that, right? Witnessing both her
Now
parents get
there's a
killed,
lot
and
of resilience that goes along with it. You don't give up, and even when you do, you can't.
yeah,
So
no, yeah,
it's
yeah,
hard.
yeah,
But
I can imagine.
it's a good book. It's actually not as long as my other books, which are over 400 pages long.
Oh
Uh,
wow,
this one is it's over 200 pages. So
cool,
it's an
sure,
average book guide. And so it's a good read if you just
sure.
want to educate yourself or share with others.
Do you
So
talk about Epstein at all in that book? Because that's kind of a
um,
big part of like human trafficking and kind of the mainstream of how everything is. I mean, like
I
P
think it,
Diddy, like how
yeah,
P Diddy is right now. Like, what
yeah, there were,
crazy shit is that?
yeah. So since I am into the quantum disclosure project, there is information in the book that reveals disclosure. So
Okay,
there's a little bit of that too. So it's a little tip of the knife for
okay,
some. Yeah.
sure. Oh, it's really interesting. And it's cool you are going into that dark topic, even though being a victim of this topic too, because I can imagine it
Well, let's
reopens
not
some of the
let's
wounds too. There's some,
well, we have to stop there at victim because I'm not a victim anymore.
oh, that's true.
It's
Sure,
survivor at this point, and
sure.
it happened. And that's another thing. I think a lot of people are still set in this victim mindset of what happened in the past, but it's really us that has to get out of that and even survive out of that. Because that fight, flight, or freeze that happens in those moments, we can carry on those programs and patterns within our blueprints and our system, our nervous system, our emotional system. And trauma not only lies within one sense of uh of your senses, there's sight, there's sound, there's smell, there's feeling, and within your physical self, which is your muscle memory. And so you have to heal trauma on all of these levels. So not just one. That's why it's not easy to just flip the switch and it's healed. You really have to address the situations or triggers or traumas that arise, because I can be honest that I even still have traumas from this situation that I'm still healing. And it's rough in the moment as I'm healing and going through it, but once I get through it, then you really see that, oh yeah, that was really hindering me.
Hmm.
So survivor is a good word to use, and I think other people should start using that. And
Sure.
even if they are a victim now, they can start calling themselves a survivor, because it only takes that mindset and frame to say, okay, I'm going to get out of this now, or I'm going to help someone else get out of this. So
Yeah.
it's just about the strength and resilience to get through it,
Yeah.
perseverance.
Yeah. Well, that little girl from Wisconsin did. Shit.
Yeah, yeah,
She's like,
good.
I want to live.
Good. Yeah, I've heard a lot of survivor stories, and it's pretty amazing. So it's just don't give up.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's that's really unfortunate. This crazy world. But
Yeah. But
besides
other
this,
than
yeah,
that,
besides that,
yeah,
recently too, you went to a conference where you got to meet Giorgio and a bunch of other ancient astronaut uh or
ancient.
ancient alien guys from the History Channel. That's pretty
Yeah, we
cool.
got I got a nice meet and greet sneak peek into the ancient alien world live uh
That's so
here in
cool.
Albuquerque. That was a fun event. I had not seen that live before, so I have Jimmy Church and George Henry to thank for that. And I think one of the funnest things apart about that conference or event, let's say live event, someone asked me if I was Linda Moulton Howe. And so that was just so cool. I was speechless.
Yeah.
I actually didn't, it took me a moment to process. And I was just like, no, I'm so and so and this and that. But about 10 minutes later, it kind of hit me. I was like, wait a minute, did she just ask me if I was Linda Moulton Howe? And I was like,
That's
wait a minute. I
amazing.
was like, that's
You
so
guys
cool.
do look a little bit alike. I do have to
Yeah,
admit that. That's
we
so
do.
funny.
Yeah. We do. Yeah, we actually we're about I am a little taller than her. I
Yeah,
think we're related on some realm.
sure.
Would not doubt that at all.
Yeah. Well, you're lucky to even get to meet her too. And she I think helped
Love
promote your book
Linda.
there. Was
I
that your
love
first book?
Linda. Yeah, well, I gave her a copy of both of my books. Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know if she's had a chance to read them. She is so busy.
She
So but
is.
I just love Linda for everything that she
I do
does.
too.
She has to deliver, and she assigned me to some praying mantis research. So I'm diving into praying mantis topics and just to kind of get some more background info on that. So it's another opportunity to just learn more.
That's so cool.
And
Actually,
I'm picking up another book at some point.
yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, I bought Linda's first, I think, like documentary, the cow mutilations. I think it was like the early or late 70s, early 80s film that she did. And I love those old school documentaries, especially, yeah, her just seeing her as young as she was doing this, getting into the
Yeah,
field
and
of
you
like the
can
paranormal.
actually, yeah, you can buy that documentary on the Earth Files website too, if
Oh,
anyone's
cool.
interested in buying that one. Mhm.
Yeah. And I think that was really good and scientific too. They actually talk to other doctors and they actually sit there do some of these mutilations going with like it's kind of graphic for anybody who does watch that. Just a little heads up. But yeah, again, very educational. She comes with a great view. Again, just seeing her young and very enthusiastic going into this field. And she already had like a career like doing reporting and just making a name for herself, and then again going into this kind of a taboo subject that could have ruined her career at the same time, right? Like no one wanted to pay attention to her because she's loony, but then again she made such a trailblaze, like she got other whistleblowers down the line to come out, and then other
Brilliant.
contactees to abductees to everything just around everything just coming, it's just coming to her. And it's
Yeah,
so
it's
cool.
brilliant. Yeah, that's why I love her, is that she just follows her heart and her passion, because
Yes.
that's what I'm doing, is just
Yes.
following that guidance on what really needs to be revealed or looked into, disclosed or researched and shared. And I think that's the most important part, is sharing the authentic information that we are discovering, because there's a lot of information out there. There's a lot of conspiracies out there. So it can get watered down, it can get muddy. There's a lot of opinions. There's a lot of fake news, as we call now,
Hmm.
or media scare.
Yeah.
And so I really think it's important that we shine light on these topics a little bit more and just follow our passion with what we're being guided to. And I think that's really important for the collective, because they need someone true, honest, and authentic that will deliver the right information. And so that's why I love her, is
Yes.
she's very
And the
genuine.
way she delivers the information and her storytelling is so great. I mean, it's one thing to know the information, but the way you deliver it and the way she presents herself. And I love her. She like when she does her show on YouTube where she's just surrounded by her two cats that she loves so much. I'm a big cat lover myself. So I just love how she just lets them just roam around her when she's talking and shit. I'm like, that is so awesome. But yeah, besides that, she's dope. I continue watching her and support her work. And yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Well, I'm also working on ET extraterrestrial topics right now. I'm starting to dive deeper into myself and to learn more about myself, which is really important, not just for me, but for other people who are following along with my work, my books, and the Quantum Disclosure Project, because that's also why I have this image as my background. This is supposed to be me, and this other being is supposed to be uh, a tall white being. His name would vibrate or resonate on an Earth English level as Lyran, such as maybe Lyran, but Lyran.
Mhm.
And I discovered that I am connected to that race, not just solely that race, but that's one of the races that I'm connected to. And you can actually, anybody can find a clip of this revelation on my YouTube channel, Quantum Disclosure Project, and it shows an introduction with Lee Run and myself, and how we're connected family, and how our path and purpose mission now is resonant to my channeling abilities, my trance channeling.
Sure.
So what they're doing is I can simply say they're using me as a tool
Okay.
to deliver their messages, but I am a conduit and trance channel for galactic beings or interdimensional beings that have messages that they want to deliver to the collective or anybody specifically or individually, which is really neat because uh, I started doing that when I was channeling Anubis, and I realized I was able to provide healings for
Hmm.
people as well.
That's cool.
So when the galactic or interdimensionals come through, um, I will also provide activations, clearings, upgrades. This might be to their programming or their blueprint structure, their DNA, uh, ancestral lineage. If I can look at their Akashic records.
Hmm.
I also consider myself a medical medium, so I can also look and tune into their body if there's anything going on. We can look at why that's there and how to get around it. So it's almost quicker than hypnosis regression that I'm doing for people, because the readings they are quicker. They're more instant, and you just have to be open to accepting and receiving. the information. And so that's, I don't want to say it's a new path that I'm taking, but it's a path alongside the hypnosis regressions that I'm doing for people, for the books. But it's also a new path because um, it's more independent. You know, I'm the conduit, serving these other persons. So Sasquatch has come through, praying
Oh,
mantis,
shit.
Pleiadian, Arcturian, tall white, Anubis, of course, that would be my counterpart, I would consider. The other beings that have come through, let's see, Kin, Ambassador of Light, um, and any animal spirits. So I've noticed that the crow or fox, any type of animal that wants to present itself, birds,
Okay.
they come through, but they also, I can also communicate with them and deliver their
Do you,
messages, which is really neat.
do you think cats are pretty important? Because I feel like the Egyptians, took them pretty serious, especially even the cats themselves, their eyes are it's kind of rare in the animal kingdom to have slit eyes. Their ancestors, the lions and other big cats all have round pupils and they hiss like a snake. So
Yeah.
and then the fact that they could see in different dimensions, different wavelengths, that's maybe they could sense death or they can control control the somewhat of a bad energy. That's why you see some of these witches with cats because they're somewhat controlling the bad energy that they have. Um, yeah, I don't know. It makes you wonder if um, there is some big connection with some ET animal gods. I mean, there are. I mean, there's was the lion. Am I saying it
Yes.
right? The lioness,
Larens, yeah, the
the
Larens.
larens, yeah,
Yeah, I think cats have more reptilian eyes if you really
yeah,
kind of think about it.
exactly. That's like a snake.
Yeah, and I can communicate with cats. I have a good, strong relationship with cats. And so I think if anyone has a connection with cats, they're on that realm
Well, look
of
at Linda Moulton Howe, for God's sakes.
there are protectors. They really are. They protect us at night when we're sleeping or sleeping and astral traveling,
Sure.
into other realms. You know, I have cats that, well, one specifically that protects and guards me at night. And so
Cool.
we have to just uh be thankful for that as well. But yeah, there's a lot of cat um history and lineage that I don't know of, I can't speak on, but I'm sure that I will learn more about in the future.
Sure. Yeah, I just think that's an interesting correlation why some I don't know, maybe the Egyptians weren't the only one that worshiped cats too. I think even like wasn't like ancient Samaritans, like the Anunnaki actually were holding like grown lions in their hands like kittens. So it makes me wonder if they were just like these things are cool too. I want it around me. You know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's really kind of cool. I don't know.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, again, this federation of ETs that are somewhat working together, or maybe they are waging war with each other that we just don't know about. Because we do see that in ancient times, or these ancient cultures talk about gods kind of disagreeing with each other with the technology they're giving us here on Earth and kind of swaying what's the future for us. Um, yeah, again, I I'm hoping to live long enough to see that we have physical contact. I wish, like the Kachinas come back and visit the Hopi again in the Blue Star and the Three Mesas. And all 200 of them come down, and everybody's, when they come down there, all the, native children are holding the dolls like, oh shit. our grandparents
Yeah.
were right, you know.
You're right. Well, we are. We're the rainbow children now. We're the
Yeah,
ones
and
bringing
you're
it
and
to
you have some Native American uh
native.
Hopi, don't you?
Well, not Hopi. We have Apache.
Okay,
Um,
but you
and
have a relative that makes Kachina dolls.
uh, well, I did have a relative. He
Okay,
passed.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
it's okay. It's life. It was my grandfather,
Oh,
actually.
cool.
He
So that's
he
amazing.
was a world-class Kachina doll carver, and you can look him up online. His name is Mike Aguirre. Same last name as me, Aguirre. You'll find images of a gallery and the dolls that he's carved, and he did it authentically.
Yeah.
And his story started back when he was a kid, and he would go to the Santa Fe native markets, and that's where he saw other carvings of Hopi dolls, and he said that he would just be amazed and stare at those for hours. And
Wow.
so as he grew, he would actually get to the cottonwood roots of the tree, dig up the roots. He would let them dry out. He would do that the right way. And he would carve them down. He would whittle hundreds of hours into a doll. And it's pretty fascinating.
It
And
is.
he didn't stop there. He made authentic knives from bones, and he would
Oh,
keep carve the blades, and it was something that I really wanted to learn from him before he passed, but it was just something that I didn't get the chance to do,
sure,
unfortunately. But
sure.
it's not going to stop me. I'm still going to learn how to do these things.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah,
I don't know about carving the Hopi dolls, but more of the knife carving and stuff really
sure.
piques my interest. And
That
I
is so
mean, I
cool.
make dream catchers, and I'm a painter and artist as well. So I live working with natural material. I skin snakes, which I have no
Wow,
problem doing.
wow.
Um, so it's also just another part of our um tradition and ancestry, and we can't really forget our connection to Earth, Mother Earth, even the dirt and the sand.
Sure.
So that's what we return to.
That's so cool. The fact, man, again, being a Kachina doll collector myself, and then you have a grandfather that was just kicking out the awesome shit and having displays and getting his name out there. That is awesome. And I totally respect that. And the fact that again, you're saying this fascination since he was a kid. Because you know what? Like, my tattoos came from my dad's brother who's covered with tattoos. And when I was a kid, I just would stare at his arms like a psycho. Like,
Yeah.
what is that? You could do this to your skin? And
Mhm.
shit you not, right when I turned 18, I went nuts. I'm just so I could see where something struck him, especially being in that culture, and and then maybe seeing it when he was growing up too, obviously, in his culture. It's like, oh, and having the stories that go along with it, helping the natives at this time where they were starving in the desert and showing the three mesas and physically, well, some of them say that they're just spiritual, but in my eyes, they're physical beings that actually helped with
Yeah,
agriculture, mathematics, astronomy, and
right.
again, promising these people that one day they're going to return.
Yeah,
So much,
well, and some people might think they're just stories, and we can even start there too, is that they're not stories. I mean, I can say,
yeah,
and now we can wrap this around to, the hypnosis regression and past life regression that I do, is that
sure,
individuals are returning. They are returning. You say when they return, well, they have returned.
mm,
And they are us. We are them. We are our own ancestors. And you can find more of this in my second book. And I think even a little bit in the first book I wrote, Revelations 1, the beginning, and Revelations 2, evolutions, is that there was a client person. I don't like to call them my clients or clients. They're people.
sure,
He came in for a session just to learn about his personal life and why he moved to New Mexico. And this is a transcript session that I have in one of my books. and this is why I mention it, is because in his regression, he went back as his life as a star being
Mm,
that would come through to Chaco Canyon, as we know, New Mexico. He was one of the star beings that would come in and teach the quote unquote humans how to
mm,
live and heal and uh, preserve and do things.
mhm,
And so in that transcript or session, we learned that they didn't live amongst the people, but they would come in and check on humans as they would and as they needed. And so it was just something that happened. And so I realize now that as a soul, we can fractal off, of course, and experience other lifetimes. And so a part of him and that being has returned now into his human self as we'd see. Um, and we're back, we've returned. And that's another neat thing that you'll learn about me is disclosure in the second book I have, Revelations to Evolutions, is that a research participant, multidimensional diver, as I like to call them in the Quantum Disclosure Project. And it was seen that I was a craft leadership, ship leader, and so ship leader like a craft,
mhm,
and shift leader like a team or a schedule. And
mm,
so I was a Lyran being on the craft that assisted with the location and building of the Tulum, Mexico pyramid site. And so that is
mm.
also on my Quantum Disclosure Project YouTube channel. So if anyone wants to take a look at the channel, they can find my personal regressions, some personal regressions I've done lately, which reveal this information. So it's all about coming home to ourselves. We talk about these subjects and topics as if they were separate from us, but we also have to remember, because it's a time of remembrance and realizing who we are, where we are, when we are, right? When are we waking up? Just like you, when you saw that ET craft and you got it on camera, that was
Mm.
probably a high moment for you of waking up to more memories and abilities to future events and contact. And so we really just have to embrace those moments as they come, just like climbing the steps. You have to take one step at a time. And so I
Yeah.
think it's really about opening ourselves to the information, resonating with it, seeing if it vibrates in alignment with our being, truth, and passion. Because if we're also listening to other people's ideas or opinions, say within our family, that can be also really difficult as star seeds or light workers. It can knock us off track. And
Sure.
so I think, uh, just kind of sitting with the the truth and tales of our history and ancestry and and identifying with that, I think it's really powerful.
Yeah, it is. It can be. Well, that's so cool that you're doing what you're doing because it's amazing.
Hey,
And you're getting to meet some really cool people in the process. Again, you're right. Like we're putting ourselves in the right spots at the right time where like the things almost like just being thrown at us. Like I don't know how else to explain it. Like again, I'm just finding myself in the right time. Like again, being in there in that auction bid to get these photographs to even get me
yeah.
even more noticed in this culture because I love it so much and I want to be a part of it and learning so much independently on certain cases that I find
Mhm.
compelling and other things and I don't know just and other researchers that I just idolized like Wendell Stevens. I just idolized his personal work and then happen like buying his books, and then I find out that there's an auction, and I find winning these things, and and then yeah, and then put them all online, and then everybody wants to talk to me from all around the world, and they're like, you need to start a podcast. I'm like, here now, I'm doing a podcast. So I'm like, and then and I never thought about ever doing this. And I'm like, I buy expensive equipment to do all this now. I have
Yeah.
a green screen. Like, ah, man, yeah, it is like a snowball. And I love it. It's like, and I'm doing it all for free. I'm not asking for any money. I don't have like a um I don't know, it
You have
was
a donation
fun.
platform or anything like that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly. I don't have anything like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, I'm doing it for the love and meeting people um from all around the world, and then the
And
same like-minded people too. I'm open-minded. I love hearing people's story
fun.
in this position. And then maybe like you too. Like you didn't think you're gonna be doing what you're doing. Like, what the fuck? What are we
I
doing?
you knew. Well, I had it
Maybe.
inside already. I had a cheat
Okay,
sheet.
maybe you did.
I
Me,
cheated.
this I'm still in shell shock.
Right. Well, yeah, and it'll reveal itself. That's why I was saying that that pivotal moment for you of seeing craft for anybody, it can really open or close you, and you have
Sure.
to um be an acceptance of that because when I had my first sighting, it was also caught on camera.
Oh,
And
cool.
that went to MUFON and it also went to Opus and it also went
Oh,
to
cool.
uh, the Roswell Museum. So if you have photographs or video, you can turn it into the museum. They will put it in their research library and they'll give you a membership to the museum.
Okay.
So I highly recommend that to anybody. And
That's awesome.
for me, when I saw that sighting for myself, uh it was the opening doors. It was like French doors opening because dreams were very vivid night to night for weeks and months. And that's also when I made the intention to connect with who was in that craft. And I had a meditation session with myself and a friend because she's the person I saw that with. And so I figured it would just heighten the experience. But
Sure.
within that meditation, I came uh face-to-face contact with a gray, I would say an ancient gray being that revealed that we were family. And so within that, I trusted that and I allowed them to observe me. Um, but that was really just me. That was me giving myself permission, because if you really look at it, we have these contracts with these beings. And that's not really where it started with me anyway. That was just hey, we're turning on the light bulb here. Uh,
Yes.
this is not new. That was just the starting point as a human
Hmm.
being and awakening myself in this 3D moment of, hey, that's actually a thing and it's real and I have that connection. Because as I got older and learned more about myself through regression, um, I've been abducted since I was 3 years old. And I've been taken to board craft for abilities classes. Um,
Wow.
so I've been in contact with not only one race, but many races and galactic beings. And so I think that's why I say it kind of starts at different times in your life, because you go your whole life thinking that you're separate from that. And as a kid, I had a huge passion for sci-fi. I watched Star Trek. I was not a huge Star Wars fan. I don't want to disappoint anybody, but I love Star Trek for some reason. Probably
Yeah.
because my uncle watched it a lot, but I was into like Marvin the Martian, Alf. Do you remember Alf, the little alien that ate
Oh
cat?
yeah.
Uh, you know, Johnny Five, like just different types of outer space relationships that we have. And so as I grew older, I realized that that was something I had already, was that connection and relationship with these beings. And so that's why I like the channeling that I do now, is because they literally are lined up now to speak through me and to deliver
That's
their
so cool.
messages. So it all
Yeah.
starts with the sighting. It all starts with the sighting. Be
No, you're
careful.
right. Again, it does start to snowball, and
Yeah.
you can't really control where it kind of goes and who you meet. And again, I'm not like, I haven't regretted anything or anybody who I met through this process of, you know, I don't know what process I'm really in, but uh, yeah, again, just meeting really cool people.
Are
Again,
you
like,
doing any CE5 events?
I've never done any of that before. I just wanted to show everybody that
Um,
how your journey got you so close to Linda
that's what,
Moulton Hall. You know,
yeah, that's
that's
when we were at the Conscious Life Expo in Los
yeah.
Angeles.
You guys look exactly alike.
We're related,
Yes,
I
that's
think. I don't,
there you
that's
go.
just my opinion.
Yeah, that's
We're
so
all
cool.
related, but that's
You ever heard of this book,
contact from
The
other.
Contact from?
I have heard, I've not read that book.
It's
I
really an
like
awesome
the
story.
cover
Isn't that cool?
image. Yeah.
So, so this Colonel Wendell Stevens is on the right, is the guy who I have his photographs, and the other guy who wrote the book. He's a millionaire in Holland, and Stefan, I forgot his last name. But anyways, I think
Mhm.
he had his name changed just for the book because the fact that he's kind of a well-known guy, I think he didn't want more of the attention that he was really going to gain from this book. But anyways, he tells the story of him and his family go out on their Jacques, or that small one man sailboat, but you can have, I guess you have people in there sleeping and shit. Anyways, they're out in the clear channel and he hits something and he looks over the side and he sees his body just floating face down. And his first reaction was jump over the railing and retrieve the body. So he does. He grabs his body that's in his bulbous suit with this round helmet, the head. You couldn't see the inside of it, but besides a blue glow that was coming through this helmet. And yeah, this thing was unconscious because it's just this rag doll of a body when he was dragging up on the boat. And
Yeah.
he's like, what the hell? And then this UFO comes merging out of the water, not totally out of the water, just the top of it. And then this like door tower thing opens up, and this other thing, just like the creature he retrieved out of the water, the same bulbous suit comes walking on their boat while the family's on the other side screaming and crying. Like, what the fuck is this? And yeah, this creature picks up his comrade and brings it back to its spaceship, and then it goes under the water again. And then his family just is wigging the fuck out, like, what the fuck was this? What we experienced? What the hell? And then the next morning, the the UFO appears back up, emerges against the water, and then the tower opens again, and then this creature that I was just showing you, uh, I think he still had the suit on right away because I don't think he wanted to scare the guy right away. He invited the guy on to the ship to thank him again for saving his comrade, and he wanted to show him if he had any questions and to show him around the ship. So yeah, he started asking questions, and this little horse face alien, had like an iPad. And like when the guy asked his questions, he was just typing the shit in and is like Googling it or some shit, you know. He's like, yeah, here it is. And like, yeah, he was showing like images of their home planet, and like they had like buildings and apartments, kind of like us. The majority of their planet was covered with water. They are more aquatic. They can hold their breath like a seal, and they do a lot of underwater farming. They have vehicles, obviously, too, and then um, they're showing this crazy stuff. They were showing them what they were doing on their planet, obviously, and then they were visiting other planets that had water because they can relate to that. uh,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's an interesting story because even after that contact, physical contact. They kept in contact with him throughout the years telepathically. So like around 4 o'clock, he'd get like a cold feeling in his head, and he would sit in his chair in his office, and he would sit there with his typewriter, and there's like the messages that they were sending him through telepathically. Colonel Wendell Stevens investigated this case heavily and helped write the book with him. Um, yeah, again, this is an amazing story and a unique story because it's always like an alien picking you out. It's not like an alien kind of fucked up, getting his head hit by a boat, and then have a human save him, right? And that, and this being in a bulbous suit, and I don't know, it's very interesting, unique, and yeah, I like those stories because I feel like they're more genuine, especially when it's like a millionaire, a guy who like has all the money in the world already. What sense would he want to put his name out and his family out like that? I don't know.
Right.
So it's like,
Yeah, I love genuine stories like that. And I do have uh some books, of course, on stories. And I think that's that's what kind of triggers us also into this world and realm of sharing. When someone else can share their story without hesitation or limits,
right,
and I
right,
think it's just gonna help someone else. And so if anyone has a story that they haven't shared, or that they don't even know how to process, uh, I think reaching out to Opus or Move On is a good start, or just
right.
start going to conferences, or getting into more local communities. I know that there's a lot more local communities now online even. Um, so there's a lot of interesting stories and beings. Because when I started speaking up and sharing my experiences, all I got was confirmation that
Mhm.
everything that I was experiencing or had experienced was real or true or resonated with someone else's experience or patterns, especially in the ET field and realm, because there's a lot of people who are being monitored, still, even through generational events. It doesn't stop or start with just one person. Sometimes it just goes. And I know I'm being monitored. I know I have implants. And so it's it's something I've accepted. Some people might be angry about their contract. So if they don't want to continue with the extraterrestrial communication or contract, if they feel they're being violated, and just have so much anger or resentment, then they have the ability to break those contracts. And so I know people who actually do that type of work. But for me, I have dived so far deep that I have the understanding that it doesn't only just start or end with me being abducted at 3, me going to psychic abilities classes, and now I'm a channel. There's so much far in between as a human, but then there's also so much far in between as a soul that's evolved through the evolutionary blueprint of a spiritual being and a human being. Because I've also learned I'm an ambassador from another place that has come in to assist humanity in waking up, the light workers and star seeds, and that is another topic of my work that we haven't shared today, is that I will be going to different sacred sites and portals that have been dormant or forgotten about, and to channel, activate these locations and beings, star seeds. So if anybody wants to join, they can subscribe, follow me on my website. I have a newsletter you can sign up on.
Oh,
And
cool.
it's the website is quantumdisclosureproject.com, and you can find events, videos, codes, more information. So just follow along because I'm going to be going to Tulum, Alaska, which
Oh,
is the background that I have here.
oh, nice, nice.
Contact at Sea. That's going to be the next big event.
Wow.
It's going to be set
You're gonna
set
be
in
on a cruise
there.
ship?
Yeah. It's going to be from Seattle, Washington to Alaska,
Wow. Well,
and
good
it's
for
going
you.
to be
Look at you.
September 6th to September 13th, 7 nights.
Wow.
So there's registration open. You can go to contact@sea.com or divinetravels.com, but contact@sea.com will give you all of the information. And there's other individuals who will be there in the ET realm and world. Let me get a speaker list
Yeah.
for you.
Wow. Well, good for
Dr.
you.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. So Jimmy Church, Scott Walters, Stephen Bassett, Daniel Sheehan, Daryl
Wow.
Sims, Richard Doty, Vivian Chavette, Margie Kay, Geraldine Orozco will be there, Misa Johnston, Susan Shumsky, Barbara Stone. So there's a big and more. There's going to be more there. So
Wow.
the workshops, presentations. There is a fee and registration on the website. And if you go to that, everything is included. You have your room, your food, and the seminar included. And that's going to go from Seattle to Sitka to Skagway to Juneau, Victoria, and back to Seattle. So there's going to be land excursions. We're going to check out whale watches, glacier
Wow.
watches, and it's going to be really exciting. So please sign up. And if you register, use my name, my first and last name, Melanie Aguirre, for registration. And it's going to be worth it. So check it out. I'm going to be doing channeling. I'll be presenting a presentation. I'll be offering hypnosis sessions. So if you want a private personal session or a group regression session, we can make arrangements if you want to.
Wow.
So
That is fantastic. I'm just blown away that you're actually going to be on a cruise ship talking about like this stuff too, and having people from all around the world, or and maybe in America, maybe. But
yeah.
anyways, to get on this cruise to do this with you guys again, fascinating. I'm all supportive of that. That is so cool. I'm so glad that we could promote it here too on our channel. That's great. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
And if you want more details about any dates or the land excursions or who's going to be there, you can also check out my YouTube channel, Quantum Disclosure Project, and me and Susan, of course, cover all the details of what to expect. And this is the cruise. That's the cruise ship. It's
That's
called
so cool.
Nation of the Seas. She said it's one of the best cruise lines, and they also have a 360 observation room that
Really?
up at nighttime you can see
Wow.
the stars.
Yeah, I find it amazing that we even make ships that big, right?
Oh
Like
my gosh.
what are we doing? And how does that float?
I've never been on a
All that
cruise.
heavy steel and it just floats in it.
Yeah, I've never been on a cruise ship. I don't even like little boats. I don't like kayaking. I don't like any
Yeah,
of that. I get a little nervous. Probably because I still have some Atlantis stuff to go
sure.
through.
Okay.
But this I might feel more comfortable, I believe, on
Yeah,
this.
I think you feel more comfortable. I think
Yeah,
you like escape the water, being like more in the middle of I bet they have like
right.
a mall inside that thing, don't they?
They do. They have a shopping center, they have restaurants, they have
Yeah.
entertainment. Uh,
Yes.
they have everything. They have kids' rooms, teen rooms. So if you have kids, they have free daycare.
Oh, cool.
Uh, I think free daycare for the first hour of the day, if you want to get down to fine details. But they offer daycare and all kinds of things. There's
That's
spa
really
services, room services, so it's definitely something to check out. Join me,
wow.
and really, it'll be a lot of fun. So,
Yeah.
and right now, if anybody registers, I'm offering a free hypnosis for anyone who registers with
Ooh,
my name.
let's go.
So it can be an in-person session or an online regression session remotely if you want. But that's what I'm offering for registration at Contact SE this year. And that's this September. So
Okay, that's so cool. Yeah, we'll definitely get this episode way up before then, so people can register and maybe contact you if they have any questions. Do you have like an email or anything like that?
yeah, my email is really simple, quantumdisclosureproject@gmail.com. Or you
Okay,
can find me directly on Instagram,
okay,
Quantum Disclosure Project, or by my first and last name. At Medium Mel also works on Instagram, Facebook. I'm on Facebook.
okay. Well,
So
cool.
yeah.
Again, I'll be promoting this like crazy once it drops, and yeah, again, let's get people to join you because I think that's would be a great experience, especially like starting a fall too. Like, all right, let's get one big bang before have to deal with snow and all the other bullshit.
Well, it's going to be a treat for me because I live in the desert. I live in New
Right?
Mexico, and
That's
I
nice.
think having some moisture in the air is
Oh,
really going
yeah.
to do me some good.
Yeah.
It'll be
Well,
fun.
dope.
It'll be fun.
Dope.
And plus you can't miss all of the presentations and workshops from other people that will be on the cruise.
Dope. All right. Well, hey, let's wrap it up there for now. And I'm gonna have you back again because it seems like you always have so much stories to share and new stuff coming up and new events and maybe new sneak peeks of books that we're gonna
Yeah,
hear about more in the future. But
I'm
yeah,
working
I'm
on two books.
super excited to have you back because yeah, I want to have it like a group chat. I want to have like a big one, like where there's 10 of us or something. Have a big round table of this spitting out ideas and be on more in the same realm of what you do too. Because I've talked to some other people who get into the quantum healing and stuff like that. I mean, a lot of people from Australia who've been doing the light works and other stuff. So yeah, very cool stuff. I'm excited. All
Yeah,
right.
anytime. Yeah. We'll definitely come back again and catch up because I am working on two more books right now.
Wow.
So, yep.
Talk about tedious. My God.
It's not tedious
Is
as
that tedious?
fun.
Well, I
I
guess
enjoy
whoever's doing it.
it.
That's
Yeah.
good because I feel like I tried to write a book and I got through one chapter. I'm like, holy Christ, I don't think I could do it.
Yeah.
Because
Well,
yeah,
I do
it takes a lot.
self-publishing and now I'm starting to help other people publish
Oh,
uh,
really?
their work. So if you need any assistance or if anyone else needs
Well, I've
assistance.
been told I should maybe publish my all those photographs of Colonel Wendell Stevens and make like a coffee table book to have all that documented in a book. Be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'll help you figure it
That'd
out.
be cool.
Me
Yeah,
too.
let's do it. Let's keep in contact.
We are in contact.
We got you.
We are the ETBAs.
We are. That's why we like each other so much.
Yeah, just resonate.
I was gonna say,
What was
you
you
want
gonna
to stick with me for 2 more minutes?
say? Okay, we will. Yep.